Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Here with Tuck. I don't plan on talking that much about UFO stuff tonight. I am definitely burnt
Aw,
out on it. Yeah, I'm definitely burnt out on it right now.
that was the whole subject I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. But I do, like I was telling Tuck on the thing, though, I am going to get some marine biologists and some zoologists and maybe even some physicists to come on the show, and we have a, a solid discussion about what they're trying to push on us as unidentified flying objects because, like I said, some of that I think is birds, or some of that either some of it's birds or some of it is some other kind of species that we've not discovered yet. Either way, this should be of some interest to somebody. I'm just saying this.
So, have a round table.
Yeah, there needs to be a good roundtable talk. That's one of the things that within that community there's not enough of. There's not enough of, you know, the actual people who need to be there and have these conversations. You have people who, want to know the truth or want to believe or, you know, think they've been probed by ET or God knows what. And then you have military counterparts which want to weaponize it or utilize it or whatever else, or they don't believe themselves. You never seem to have the right people in the room. And anyone that is out here trying to take this and make a book off of it or anything like that, you don't really want to throw them in. You don't want to. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Anyway, um, I mean, I don't write books about UFOs. About encounters and shit like that. I might write stories about them, but I don't write books about them. I mean, I don't write. You get what I'm saying? Anyway.
Have you ever read any of those books, though?
Oh yeah, I got stacks of them.
I read. There's only one I read, and that was The Majestic by George Norrie. And yeah, I had to put that book down.
I mean, now I don't know. In a few days, tomorrow I want to do something on Ebola. We're going to touch a little bit about Ebola today, but the day after, I will probably return to some of the ET stuff. I want to talk about the Nordics. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, and it touches base on the some of the Meyer stuff.
He claims that the
yeah.
Nordics
I
are
got a whole thing on
descendants.
it. And
Oh wow.
I go pretty hard in that because I kind of fell into a rabbit hole and come up with a wild theory about the whole situation. And
I want to hear this.
but we'll get there. Um, Anyway, all right, let's run over. All right. First off, I think we said this on a couple shows back. In case you missed it, I'm just going to throw this out here. BlackRock is now building AI data centers underground, not above ground. They still might be building some of the other ones above ground, and the reason they're doing this is because of the pushback public. And the other reason they're doing that is because the laws are different underground than they are above ground. I mean, someone can come up here in Virginia and they can literally mine under my house if they want to, and there's nothing I can say about it. And that is even if you own your property. You don't own you own as far as you can basically throw your hand in the sky and about 6 to 8 feet to go underground. But any further than that, that's whoever wants it. So those are being built. Those are going in. So if you were a proponent against the AI, we have lost. There is no winning this.
It depends on what state you're in, because Texas believes that you own the ground all the way down to the core of the earth and all the way to the clouds in the sky. That is Texas property rights.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I agree. I mean, if it says it, if it's in the law, sure. But I'm sure they're going to modify it. They were already talking about modifying the mineral rights, and there was a I see. What was it? There was some big issue, back there when they had that flood and those kids died in that camp or whatever. The reason they were seeding the clouds and stuff was because they wanted to um uh
Cool down the earth.
no, they wanted to fill up the basin so they could frack for lithium, and that went into the law change about what was underground and stuff like that. So I mean, they have been working on that. But I didn't think it had to do with any of this. Um,
Yeah, well, the fact that they could do that, that's kind of scary. I almost sent you another video today that there was this AI researcher who, it was supposed to be a private conversation, but it freaked him out so much because of the conversation that he had. You might see deeper into it than I do. I don't. It doesn't seem like a big deal. Like the kid's freaking out for no apparent reason. I think, yeah. But like they to be able to preserve the AI, especially after it gets to this point, because I mean, if we don't already have AGI, we're on the verge of AGI.
well, I think we're here with the
Oh yeah, the self-learning models and the
Well, I mean, I,
self-fixing
I
models.
posted I posted a video. I posted not a video. I mean, it's a short, and um Intel and AMD is basically merging, which is bizarre. I mean, it really is. They're 86 and 64-bit architecture. They're going to merge them, keep the codes, and they're doing this to kill Omni chip, which is basically what powers Apple and everything else. Um, some form of it or whatever. You're looking at. I mean, literally, the prophecy has been fulfilled. I mean, AI. In order for AI to become what it needs to be, it must consume parts and bits of these companies. It must incorporate them into itself. And the only way it does that is to do what's called a forced merge. And it has been predicted a long time ago that this would happen. And we're starting to see that. And we're starting to see that rapidly grow. Um, Today, or was it yesterday, NVIDIA released their earnings sheet, and they just literally kicked out gamers. They moved the gamer panel to edge computing, so gamers are no longer on the sheet anymore, which has pissed off a lot of people. But big deal. That is, you look at that, and now NVIDIA has $43 billion of free money to spend. I mean, that's insane. That's insane.
Like a couple of factories.
Huh?
That's like a couple of factories, maybe a factory and a half.
Well, I mean, that's their free money. That is the money on hand. That is money they have access. That doesn't include the money they have already loaned out. That doesn't include the money they are owed, the money they are projected. I mean, NVIDIA has a GDP of, Rich. I didn't think I'd go into this, but I would have had it already up.
It's just water.
Yeah. So NVIDIA has a staggering market capitalization of approximately $4 trillion to $5 trillion. It is the most valuable public company in the world. In terms of actual financial performance, the company generates a year $215.9 billion.
And it's worth $5 trillion?
Yeah, $5 trillion.
That's an overvaluation.
No. A lot of people are saying there's overvaluation because, and people keep pushing it and throwing it out there, but in reality, it's not. If AI is doing what they're saying, NVIDIA is making the backbone. NVIDIA is making the chips. NVIDIA is making the GPUs. NVIDIA is loaning the money to all these other companies so they can make chips. Guess who owns those chips? NVIDIA does. So
Okay, so
NVIDIA is king
they've
shit.
cornered the market.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh, well, the Antitrust Act is gonna come and get them eventually.
uh, if they haven't now, and what I'm saying is, if they were to mess with NVIDIA right now, I mean, then everything they've been working toward, everything they've been the goalposts they've been moving toward, would come crashing down because they have the market. I mean, they can pull out of it. I mean, it wouldn't be that easy. I mean, literally, NVIDIA could bankrupt this country and other countries within the world. I mean, that is the existence of it. They hold more power than most countries. But they're on board with us right now. So, that's good.
Yeah, because that's why. Yeah, Trump took what 18 CEOs over to China to haggle all this out. Now,
Yeah, I
I've been
don't.
hearing.
There's some shit there, man. I don't. We might get into that. I don't know if I'm ready to get into that yet.
I watched a video by a guy. He's Andrew Jing. Hold on. I gotta deal with the dog.
Sure. But I don't want to sidetrack. There was another. Uh, there was a suspected gunman at the White House that lobbied about 3 shots. In case you guys didn't hear, it just happened. Um,
Yeah, the reports say that it happened at the Washington
well,
Monument, and shots were fired towards
he
the
is
White
dead.
House.
He is dead. I got the confirmation right now. It says the White House was briefly locked down on Saturday after sustaining a volley of gunshots was heard by reporters for multiple outlets. So the reporters were there. I guess they were there doing something else. In a statement, the U.S. Secret Service said, shortly after 6 p.m. local time, a man approached the checkpoint at White House Gate near 17th Street on Pennsylvania Avenue, took a pistol out, and fired. The Secret Service officers who protect the U.S. President and Vice President returned fire, and the agency said striking the suspect, who was then transported to an area hospital and later died. No injuries were sustained to Secret Service or anybody else. There was people who said they claimed to go by and they heard what sounded like dozens of gunshots. Now, as somebody who's been to Washington a lot, and shit will echo up there like crazy, and you will hear stuff bounce off the walls. I mean, I don't know.
There was from the sound of it, because I got to hear the reporter as it was happening.
Yeah.
The sounds of it, you probably hear about 6 or 7 shots.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, well, if he fired 3, then then they fired. They probably fired a few.
4 or 5.
Yeah. I mean,
and Trump was doing a talk on, or was supposed to be talking with reporters about the talks with Iran, and that he's trying to get a deal and all this other stuff.
Well, no, that's interesting. I wasn't even going to talk about that. That was something that was on my radar, but I didn't know anything about it. Well, I mean, I did know something about it, but I mean, like earlier today, there was this issuance where J.D. Vance's motorcade was turned around, and he had to come back to the White House, to Washington, and I mean, they were like hauling ass, and they said, reporters there said it was about Iran, that we were moving towards something, we're getting ready to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing I got. I think, and I mean the air traffic and the data and the movement suggests that we're getting ready to do another round of bombing in Iran.
It's going to get worse than that. From what my friend is telling me, if what he's telling me is correct, Trump wants to go scorched earth, like literally start dropping nukes. And that's part of where the contention is within his own staff, because Nobody wants to do that.
Well, yeah, I
That's opening Pandora's box. And this dude
remember me
wants to.
telling you on the other podcast day before yesterday, whatever, that someone will eventually drop nukes, and they're going to drop nukes because they have to. It is just something we have to do.
No,
Uh,
we don't have to do it.
oh,
Donald
we
Trump
have
wants
to.
to do it.
In order for nuclear weapons to become a logical threat, see, nukes when they drop and they take out a city or they take out a place or whatever, sure, they're a threat to that. But as a threat to anybody else, the threat that you will use them, or the fear that you will use them, or the fear that you have them and they work, and you've used the ones that you've had and worked. Now, that part right there is the thing that leaves people's minds.
Have we forgotten about Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Is it that far removed?
Around 42% of people believe that either Hiroshima and Nagasaki did not happen, or two, the nukes we have now currently don't work.
Okay. All right, we're that far removed. Got it.
Yep. I mean, that's what I'm
So
saying. That's what I'm after.
We need a new Nagasaki.
Yep. We need another one, and we're going to have one. And it's not going to be like you're not going to have. It's not going to matter if like Russia pops off one. It's not going to matter if China pops off one. The person that has to pop off one is once again going to be the United States.
Why? Why does it have to be us?
Because it has to be some newer version, some newer technology, some dialed in special thing that scares the other ones with the other, like it makes the other nuclear bombs feel little. I mean that's what. You know,
that's what the UFO thing is about. Then
I don't know.
Is them unveiling.
I mean, something. I mean, it could be. I mean, there was, believe it or not, during the development of nuclear weapons and stuff like that, when actually there was a lot of talk about UFOs. Now, a lot of people don't seem to want to talk about that, but there was a lot of talk about UFOs from different sources, including our government. You know, I mean, it's psychological warfare. You know, we did that. We did that. We did that with our own people. So our own people were chasing something else. They weren't seeing the things we were doing, or they weren't hearing little static reports. But it is very hard to navigate through the world now because, you know, people dialed in. They're listening to things. They're watching things. But the people who they suspect would actually see this stuff are the same people who see the UFO stuff, the same people who see that watch the viruses and watch everything else. So I mean, you know, you got to feed one beast to appease the other, and that's what they do. That is exactly what they do. But I don't know. Like I said, I still think that, you know, by doing that, you're creating problems, more problems, other problems. You're creating scenarios and things that will continue to happen and move along. You're creating. I mean, you know, you are. I mean, every time we take a step outside, or every time you wake up in your hammock, every time you go get something to eat, or whatever, you're creating variations and corrections and course corrections in your timeline. So you're creating things. Things are happening. You go say hi to somebody, you interview somebody, you know, you hand somebody $1, you give them a cigarette. Everything you do when you go out, you create variations in your timeline. Mm-hmm. You know, it might help somebody, it might hurt somebody. It you know, something nice that, you know, an individual does. You know, you buy somebody a hamburger, or you go and you tell somebody they're pretty, or whatever. That might be the money shot that makes, you know, it saves that person's life. Or you might be in a bad mood yourself, and you might be like, you know, like, fuck you, or whatever. And that might be the catalyst for them to do something bad. You never know. But I mean, and that individual might go on to do something great, or you might go on to do something great because you're in a better mood, and you had this wonderful idea when, you know, you're in a better mood and you're in another direction. But we all have these course corrections, and everything that happens will cause these course corrections. Anyway, let me get off that topic. And let's talk about course record. U.S. politics. The U.S. government is responding. Now, this is the U.S. government now. The rest of the world, the WHO and everything else, they've been responding. The U.S. government is responding to an Ebola outbreak with travel restrictions. American citizens and permanent residents departing affected countries must fly to one of 3 U.S. airports now. You remember I sent you that thing where it says that, anybody with a green card is going to get checked?
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to 3 specific airports, which means these 3 specific airports are now monitoring. And these 3 specific airports have been, specially made where and we did this during COVID. And that's the reason they're sending them there, because once you walk into these things, that's when the AI kicks in. The AI is been harnessed and put into these airports and been there for a while. And it monitors your temperature, it monitors your gait, it monitors if you look sick, if you cough, if you're sweating, if you're doing anything. This thing knows, hey, something's up with, the second guy that got off the plane. And they've been testing this stuff for a while, so they know. But yeah, they are. But on like this points to a thing. They are worried. And like I said, I wanted to cover. I want to do a special on Ebola, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But tonight, I want to talk about some of the weird stuff that is associated with this with this current outbreak, because it deserves some conversation. For one, this version, now not all Ebolas, but this version, oddly, this version is a rare and barely known strain. The outbreak is only the 3rd ever caused by this virus. This is a rare type. There are no approved vaccines. There are no therapeutics whatsoever. We'll get into therapeutics in a minute. This strain was only discovered less than 20 years ago in western Uganda. Unlike the Zari strain, most people associate with Ebola. Like when you're told Ebola, like in the news and stuff, like back in the day, when you hear the stories about Ebola and people's bleeding out and everything, you think of that one. This one's different. This one's meaner. Anyway, the world essentially has no medical countermeasures ready for this one, and they literally have no idea about this virus. I want you to keep that in mind. They have no idea about this Ebola virus. And remember what I said is the World Cup, over 8 million people coming over here from the Congo. There's got people, and there's a reason all this matters. And we have all these other people coming over from all different parts of the world. And we have all these other people going into other parts of the world. Contact points. I mean, if it's hard for what I'm putting down, all right, go download the free game Outbreak on your Android device. I think you can get it free, or your Apple device, or the computer, or whatever, and just play a quick game. You ain't got to do the Ebola one. Just do whatever, and you will learn very quickly how outbreaking and contact tracing and how all of this stuff works, and you will see how quickly you will die. Now, let's get to the next part. This started with healthcare workers. This should concern you. It started in a hospital. In the early May, a hospital in the northeastern DRC, Congo, identified a cluster of severe illnesses affecting the healthcare workers specifically. The initial samples tested negative for Ebola. I'm going to say that again. The initial samples on all the people that were sick tested negative for Ebola. But by May 15th, 8 of the 13 samples come back positive, and 5 were inconclusive. The fact that it hit the hospital staff first and initially evaded detection made containment much harder from the start. which means if it hello from Virginia and hello Texas, um, which means if this starts in our hospitals, guys, if this starts at our local mall, if this starts at our local school, and they test them, and they come back, no, you don't have it. There's still a chance you might have it. There's still a chance that person might have it. There's still a chance that other individual might go and spread this around. So just keep that in mind. This is not your average virus. This is not your normal bear. That's probably because there's some other stuff we don't technically know about it. I can sit here and speculate all day. And the monkeys in the back hitting the keyboards in my brain is telling me it's something that I probably shouldn't say online. However, there are count them, two unlinked cases, and they appear simultaneously in Uganda. Now let me break that down. At the same time, there was two cases of two people that did not know each other, that were not in the same locale. They have never met each other. They had never met the same people that they met, that suddenly come down with this. Now, two laboratory confirmed cases with no apparent links to each other was reported in Uganda. 24 hours from each other. One on the 15th and one on the 16th. But yeah.
Is this a virus? Where does it come from?
Well, they don't know. They claim it comes from bats. They claim it comes from, they claim people are eating bats. I don't know. I mean,
Kind of like the other thing.
Yeah. Well, they said it come from that other thing, but it's not. I don't. Like I said, I have my speculations. I know where it was made at some point. I can tell you that much. I can give you the GPS coordinates to an island that has recently come uncovered because it was underwater, and there were tons and tons and tons and tons of sample containers and stuff like that that was buried under the sand because they were trying to hide it from the World Health Organization and the United States. We know this virus is out there. We know they've been working on it. We know they've been playing with it. And it wouldn't take that much effort to go get it and sprinkle around like fairy dust, which is horrible. I mean, is this a horrible thought that somebody might actually do this? A weaponized version of this. Anyway, and I'm not ready to go there yet. Here's the thing. Here's the other things. It's spread across multiple provinces in the DRC. As of May 22nd, the outbreak has already spread across 5. And now there's a new case in another province. It was just confirmed. This is what the CDC says. See, believe it or not, the CDC does have people down there. We do have people down there. There's also a Bill Gates laboratory. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But an American was infected. An American contracted the virus while he was working in the DRC and was sent to Germany for treatment, not back to the U.S. 6 other Americans are being sent to Germany for observation. It is very rare when there are outbreaks in the Congo. And I won't stress this enough. It is very rare that Americans do come down with this. I think I've only seen like 2 cases, since they've actually been tracking Ebola, different types and the different kinds, because we don't participate in the normal rituals that they do. the old Ebola spread because the when somebody died, they would, you know, hang on to the body and they would kiss it and they would have to bury it and do certain rituals and stuff like that. And well, that caused the virus to spread around a lot more. Well, the American, we don't participate in that type of activities, so we're not there doing these things, and these other ones were not there doing these things, and they weren't letting them. And after the other virus, they don't let them have their dead when they're sick like this. So we don't know how this is being transmitted. We think, the community thinks it is airborne, and I know that is a big word when it comes to a virus like this. But it could be airborne. It could be mutating. I mean, does anyone remember the rage virus? Where the monkeys got infected and it was spreading. They made a whole zombie movie about it. Like, what was it, 28 Days Later or something?
Oh, I've seen 28 Days, but I've heard stories of it because it was before my time.
But yeah, you're. I mean, this is this is weird. This is a weird one, guys. This is a real weird one. When it comes to in the sense, I mean, normally Ebola hits and it hits hard, and this one's hitting hard and spreading and going faster. That's the other thing that's weird about this. The death rate. It's striking. This virus carries a reported fatality rate between 25% and 50%. There's no approved treatment for this thing. I mean, you're pretty much flipping a coin again. And I mean, you are guaranteed to spread this to somebody else if you have it. I mean, and like I said, I believe they believe it's airborne. This is an unsteady strain. It's proven itself to be able to spread very rapidly. It has also proven itself to pop up independently in places where it hasn't been. And this is one of the more unsettling outbreaks in the past year. And it's definitely unsettling when we start adding in the other things like the teen takeovers and the freaking World Cup stuff, guys. We are headed to the top of the mountain here, and it doesn't look pretty. If something does happen and it does pop off, it's going to be ugly, guys. It is going to be really ugly. And I hate coincidences, but it's starting to feel like one. But anyway, the next story. Didn't you say something about Marco Rubio?
I'm sorry?
Didn't you say something about Marco Rubio?
I've said quite a few things about Marco Rubio.
Today?
No, I haven't said anything about Marco Rubio today. No, I haven't said anything about, no.
Okay, I don't know how important that was, but it popped up in my search. For some reason, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, arrived in India ahead of the meeting with counterparts from India, Australia, and Japan. They're over there setting up the Quad Indo-Pacific Strategic Alliance, basically the NATO on that side. So, is this a sign where you're getting ready to play hard with China? I don't know.
I think so, but I think this is also forming regional world governments. Just like you have the power of the states, I think that there was a lot to be learned on how to be able to consolidate power even with the individual states. And I think that by setting something up like this, you're putting us on a path to eventually just have regional governments based upon military alliances.
But I mean, why would you build that and support that, and then do what Trump did next? President Trump, his he made some comments today, yesterday. And he's been saying this. He's been talking about this a while now about reducing the U.S. military footprint in Europe, and it's stirring a lot of confusion abroad. There's been a lot of shifting statements from his administration the following weeks about, helping the European Union and not helping the European Union and pulling out and
I think this is a fight between the United States and the European Union because, from what I've read, it was created with the intent to compete with the United States, and now that the European Union has complete hold, they are the new regional government, so therefore they need to protect themselves, and we can divert resources to setting it up in other places. Because if you've noticed, we've basically pacified Europe. They're virtue signaling and sending hardware off because they're making money off of it, not because they actually want to fight.
I mean, there's a growing number of people that think that we are becoming, which I'm fine with, by the way. I mean, I'm absolutely fine with. Uh, oh shit, what's the name of it? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's basically where we dig in, and where we just take the Americas, and this is where we stay. We take
The
we
Monroe Doctrine.
yeah, we'll take Greenland, we'll take Canada, and we'll take all that up through there, and we'll take the rest of the Americas, and this will be, you know, the whole of America, and this is where we'll stay, and this is where we'll be, and we'll leave everybody else alone. Y'all leave us alone, kind
This
of thing.
this is actually perfect for me to get back into what I was saying about I think this guy's name's like Andrew Jink. He was talking about the 18 CEOs going over, but he brought to light that China there was an accord at a hotel in New York. I can't remember what the name of it was, done in the 70s. Um I can't remember what the name of it. I once you saw it, you'd know what I was talking about. But anyways, that was done in a hotel room, and this is kind of how we revalued and restructured the dollar. But countries like Japan and stuff like that ended up getting screwed. And so what this guy was saying is that China is letting the United States know that we don't want to go into Thucydides' trap, and we don't want contention. But here's our proposal on how to be able to reset everything so that we don't end up in war. And so, like, Trump is going over there and dealing with them from a place of weakness because, one, they were the ones to initiate it versus the United States initiating it, and two, they already know that they're a rising power. They're just creating a situation that benefits them. And so, like, I think that in a lot of ways, this whole Indo thing that you're talking about, maybe, yeah, kind of going towards China, but more of a posturing in the same way we did with Russia. We're going to surround them and put the squeeze on them until they capitulate with what we want, and because we're not in the position of power at
So
this point.
yeah, I mean, another reason why I say this about the like the absorption of the Americas and everything else today and yesterday. Trump and Rubio again raised the possibility of U.S. military intervention in Cuba a day after the administration announced criminal charges for the former Cuban leader Castro. Um, so we're going to charge Castro. That means we're going to do the same thing we did in Venezuela. Um, so we're going to take Cuba. If there's anyone out there that has any question that we're not going to take Cuba, this today is your day to know that we're going to take Cuba.
Well, it sounds like we're having another Cuban Missile Crisis with the drones.
Well, no, I mean Cuban Missile Crisis is Cuba doing their thing and building missile bases and everything else. But with us going in there and actually taking Cuba, that's unprecedented. That's I mean,
Well, but they're now doing drones, and now everybody's talking about how Florida is now at risk.
yeah, yeah. But I mean that's just like a you know a warning.
Propaganda.
That's you know posturing and stuff like that. I mean, that is sure. I'm sure that they will use those, but it will just make it look more like we should do what we're going to do to Cuba. So, anything Cuba does that is negative toward the United States and being this close, it's just going to make it look like, okay, yeah, we got to do it. We're going to do it. And, you know, if you're threatening to attack Florida, the majority of Florida is going to say, yep, go do it. And, I mean, they'll be behind it. And I mean,
well, they should have never invited the Russians.
Oh, I know, and I agree.
But you know what?
I do like their cigars, though.
Response to what we were doing in Ukraine.
Oh, I do like their cigars. I do. I have some of them. Well, older cigars. But now the other thing, well, we're yesterday, I think it was. They launched the mega rocket again, SpaceX. It made it and landed and done everything it was supposed to, and blew up when it got down, but it was supposed to. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, it blew up. It didn't. It failed." No, it didn't. It done what it's supposed to. It made a successful flight from Starbase in Texas, May 22nd. Is it Disney? Yeah. And he did this 2 days after he made an announcement to make SpaceX public. They're and the reason they're doing this is because they're getting ready to make the moon public. They're getting ready to start going to the moon, and they're getting ready to take the rich people up to orbit and let them go up there and fuck off. And I mean, we have been holding the hand of SpaceX. Someone has. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's the United States, but somebody has been holding the hand of SpaceX because in order for SpaceX to go public, they have to release a first quarter or filing. And they claim they had a net loss of $4.28 billion in the first quarter of 2026. So, I mean,
a lot of that could be attributed to the trade war too.
I don't know. I think
that's why he went to India.
Well, I mean, they lost they'll launch a rocket, and the rocket won't have any benefit to it, and it will, they'll crash it because they don't have permission. See, a company will lose a rocket company because of all the crazy laws that we have because of the EPA and because of government oversight and God knows what. It makes it very difficult for a public rocket company or a public space company to actually do business, and you will lose a lot of money. But in the end, if you can get through that and you can move through that, you will make a bunch of money. You can. But I didn't think it was that much. He's lost a lot of money, and this is probably from loss of machinery, technology, and things like that. But he is moving toward it. I think they will have a Starship in orbit. I mean, well, we already had one in orbit, but I think we will have a stationary one in before long. And I'd say by next year, you'll probably see Musk building fucking a new space station. God knows what. I don't know.
He's also got a lot of government contracts too, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
That's probably what's floating him.
I mean, part of it.
He pissed off Trump for a while.
I mean, part of it, but I mean, there's something else going on there. I mean, there's some other secret shady stuff that's going out there. I mean, and that's a topic that, yeah, well, that's another day topic. But I mean, there's some sneaky shady shit going on there, guys. Now we get back into the AI thing, and OpenAI's internal model reportedly disproved the geometry on that had stumped mathematicians for 80 years, and they call it a milestone in AI mathematics. This was another step to
When did they do this?
This yesterday. I mean, This is another milestone in this quest to um, re-understand geometry and things that we couldn't understand, things that we couldn't figure out. So I mean, this thing is starting to understand like the very elements of geometry, like the sacred elements and things like that, and the problems, mathematical problems that we couldn't figure out. And I'll go back into this little thing here in a second. Just remember about the geometry because it gets weird. I just want to cover these other three before I go to it. Um, there was some leaked audio that surfaced, and Mark Zuckerberg explained that Meta has been tracking employees' Gmails, coding systems, and internal tools to train their AI. On the same day, 8,000 of those employees were let go. Ain't that fucked up? They were training on these people and they fired them.
They did it to the writers.
Yes. Oh, the employees.
They did it to the customer service agents.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
do it to the tech support. They're doing it to everybody. They want you to train the AI to take your job over. You're training your replacement.
now this is going to make you feel all funny in the loins and special in the belly. Um, the Trump's White House scrapped its AI safety executive order after a private phone call with Zuckerberg, Musk, and David Sachs. They spoke to him directly.
And told him not to put a moratorium on it.
They told him not to do the safety bit. They told him not to do the thing. They said not to do it. So they passed. He did an AI safety thing, like where, they were going to restrict certain things about AI, and some of it looked really good.
Are you talking about where the government gets to test it out before it goes public?
No. It prevented people in Publix from doing certain things. The government could always do that, but it prevented, But now that's not. Now there is not a safety solution for AI. Now people have basically free reign to do whatever it is they want to with it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Fucking and like, what is this? Is either money or ego.
Mm.
I mean, if it's ego, it's because he wants to say, "I'm the president that pushed us into winning the AI race." If it's money, well, we know where that goes.
In the world news, outside the United States, there was a gas explosion at a coal mine in China that killed 90 people. Around 247 workers were on duty at that time. China's been mining for some strange things, new materials, new elements, and they have been working toward building new weapons. Was this one of those spots? I don't know. But a lot of the fires and stuff that's been happening in China is experimental exotic materials facilities. And you can go online and type in fires in China, and it will come up like crazy. You'll see explosion happened downtown, explosion happened in worker zone B or whatever, and once you start digging into it, these are all experimental. I mean, they got like little labs in apartment buildings and shit for the government. It's crazy. Iran just announced a controlled maritime zone in the Strait of Hormuz, raising tensions in the region. Now, if there's some question why we're doing the whole Hormuz thing, it's because that we believed, and we've always believed, I had to verify this, but we believe that that area of the sea is international waters. We've always said it. It's not something we've added new, or not something we've manipulated here recently because of the war with Iran. And now, are we adding with that or to that? Sure. Is Iran adding to that and with that? Sure. But technically, hypothetically, well, you're doing what we had agreed to by when we signed that international maritime thing. Um, just saying. Uh, I mean, it can be argued, but I mean, it seems like that. Now, there is around 20 million people in Sudan that is facing acute hunger. And they're facing acute hunger due to rival military factions as they continue deadly strikes. And the reason I brought up this is because we, as people, who live in the United States, who live in other countries for that matter, we are, unless the media makes a big deal about a war or bunches of people dying and everything else, we don't hear about it. We do not hear about it. You know, there is so much death in the world, and there's so much death to wars and famine and things like that, and we let that stuff sail away. You know, it's got to make the news before we care. It seems like. Um, Tuck, I'm gonna let you run into a segue until I get some of the strange shit about this. Um, and the top stories because we're gonna zoom back around and it just does get weird on the topics that we just covered, the little things. I kind of saved
Mm-hmm.
some of this stuff. Um, I gotta go get a cigarette and I gotta go get something to drink. So you go ahead and do a segue. Talk to them, tell them who you are. There's some new people in here, by the way, and go on.
How many people we got in chat tonight?
It's fluctuating between 9 and 10.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're doing good. Uh, um, okay, so for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Friar Tuck. Uh, just like in Robin Hood, that's my name. That's my alias, and I go by it for a lot of reasons. But you can also find my channel. I cover homelessness, homeless education, awareness, based upon policy and lived experience. So I've been chronically homeless for about 25 years. I'm very Neanderthalish, so I'm a little primitive, but I like to meander. So I picked this up from another Neanderthal who explained to me that I'm not a nomad. I'm a Neanderthal. So even when I do my live streams, people keep saying that I look like the missing link or stuff like that. Yeah. Um, that's the thing. Like you have no idea how long I've been growing out this beard. I've been. If you look at my beard, you would think, oh wow, he probably grew that out in like a month or two, maybe three. No, I've been working on this beard for over a year. My hair grows very slow, so for people to call me a hairy beast is kind of funny. But anyways, if you guys want to come check it out, I do a live probably around 5 Eastern. I'm random. I don't have a set schedule because I'm on trail. I'm in cities. I'm in places where I can't get any signal, so I can't come on. So my audience is very flexible with me, and most that would if they miss it, that's what the replay's for. And hey, I urge you to do that here. If you miss it, that's what the replay's for, and the replay is just as cool. And so don't forget about that replay. But anyways, if you guys want to check me out, that's how you do it. I have a dog. Her name is Sam. Her trail name is the Feral Princess. And I'll tell you a little story of how she got her name because I think it's kind of funny. So she got her name. We were in Gainesville. She was a stray that followed me, and so I put a leash around her, and she's been with me for almost 3 years now. And so we were in Gainesville for because I usually snowbird down in Florida, and we were sleeping on a cold ground. It was like a 30-degree night. And we go into we go into a coffee shop, and it's got concrete floors. And after being outside a 30-degree night, the feral princess, kind of like Princess and the Pea, just could not handle it. She and I got into a fight over her getting on that couch because she just couldn't be. She had to be on something soft and warm. She just could not handle the cold ground. So her and I got into a fight. We ended up getting kicked out of the coffee shop. It was what it was. But anyways, after that, I started calling her the feral princess because she has no manners, and
But
she
yeah,
thinks she
if you
deserves
guys
like red carpet treatment.
if you guys come up with the drop it in chat because like I said, we got Tuck in Washington there, and he's going to be there for the um the
For the
anniversary and
summer,
everything.
probably.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to try to send him over to the Smithsonian and stuff's doing a whole bunch of stuff over there, and it's supposed to be really cool. And
I've walked by it.
yeah, Smithsonian's
It's right across the street from the library, I think.
yeah, it's badass, man. Um, but if you guys have specific, I know a lot of us we don't get out. And some of us do. Some of us we can't get to Washington. Some of you have never been to Washington. But
I've
if you
got pictures of the White House
yeah, if you
from
guys
my
want
last trip.
if you guys want to see it, head over to the channel. Maybe we can do some kind of thing from the Smithsonian or whatever. But anyway, I didn't interrupt you too bad, did I?
No, you good?
All right. Anyway, jump back into it. But anyway, if you guys want to see something, let us know. Just pop it in chat, or in comments below. I mean, some of you will be watching this later. Okay. Anyway, so they found mysterious golden orbs 2 miles deep in the Gulf of Alaska, and it has baffled scientists for over 2 years.
Is this in like a canyon or underwater?
Well, they supposedly found these egg-looking things in a volcano, underground volcano, and now they found this thing in.
Dragons?
Nah, it ain't dragons.
Damn.
I mean, it's supposed to be some kind of silly fish. That in the process of finding that out, I also found out something that kind of bothered me a little bit. They're starting to use. I don't know if you guys know anything. I'm not going to go into a full rant about it, but do you guys know what zombie cells are?
I've heard talk about it.
These are basically cells that don't die. That they're a cell line that was taken from Henrietta, somebody I can't remember, Watts, I think. Anyway, basically a kind of cancer, but they modified them, and they took the genetic material and they can take and infect these other cells with them and cause them to live longer or forever. Well, they have figured out how to use these, and they're going to start incorporating these in. Now, here's the thing you need to hold on for: anti-aging medicine. So they're gonna start screwing with people. They're gonna start screwing with people's ability to live longer and stuff like that. And they're also saying stuff like vitamin B2 may help cancer cells survive. It seems like everything that we knew about medicine, it seems like everything we knew about the concepts of vitamins and things, are starting to be kind of slowly be tilted and turned away from what we were told. Now, I don't know if this is based on real science or if it's based on junk science. It's hard to say anymore. Especially when, you have one group blame autism for Tylenol and you have another group blame autism for something else, and I don't know. Anyway, guys, when it comes to like medical supplements and anything you get from, your local pharmacy, your doctor, whatever, research the hell out of it. Always research the hell out of it. I mean, and for God's sake, make sure to check if there's any kind of recalls. Today we were freaked out. We got a recall notice about these squishy toys that they give that you can buy in Walmart and Aldi's. and a lot of special needs children have them. Zarek, my son, he hasn't had one yet. He likes those Nito ones, those ones that are real popular. And luckily, we didn't buy him any of this other kind because they're apparently come from China and they're full of asbestos. Um,
I remember when I was younger, like in the early 2000s, my mom used to say that the Chinese were trying to kill our children.
they are. Well, I mean, not come right out and say they are, but I mean, they are. I mean, they put lead in the paint. They put um, and maybe it's just the cheap manufacturing or whatever, and they just don't give a shit. Um, I think anything we get from another country, you know, anything the United States gets, like from China, from India, from Mexico, from anywhere, it is substandard to what they would probably sell their own people. I mean, it has to be.
Here's something that there's at least some truth to what was said, which was I listened to a Chinaman say, well, you Americans, you keep complaining about getting inferior products, but we make really great products. The problem is that your corporations come over and they want to do it as cheap as possible with the cheapest materials, and so we do it, and then you complain to us, and we built it just the way they designed it. So,
I mean,
I think that there's some truth there.
yeah, it is. It is a very real possibility. I don't know, but I do know anything that we're getting is cheaply made, and we gladly accept it. I mean, the cult of Amazon is a good indicator and a good watch point for that. I mean, we are willingly and openly. I mean, and they want us to too. I mean, like any kind of barrel thing that's going on, any kind of thing that they're selling or marketing or whatever. You will find somebody up there trying to give you free products to try out, and we gladly accept them. We want them. We want to do that. That's part of the whole corporation influence thing, and God knows what else.
I
Um,
think that this is the poor people misunderstanding what the rich mean by buy low and sell high. They because the rich don't they'll spend a penny on something that's going to last. And if you do the math comparatively speaking to a cheap product, you'll end up saving money long term just because of how well it lasts. But so many people think that in order to be rich, they just got to go buy it for as cheap as they possibly can.
I mean, there's definitely something up with our products and things, and they're definitely made cheaper because um,
Cheaper sells.
yeah, cheaper sales, cheaper is better, cheaper is made better.
But it's a race to the bottom.
There's actually this gentleman on YouTube. I've spoken with him, and what he does, he goes and buys older products, some back in the 50s, and it's kind of funny watching him do some of these. But he buys these, and he'll buy the newer versions of them, and he'll try them. He'll compare them, use them, compare them, and some things are just nasty. Like I mean, you drink a Coke from the 50s, it's going to be nasty. You drink a Sprite from the 50s, it's going to be nasty. But stuff like Tang and things like that that's been sealed and kept up might be a little musty, but it should be okay. And he tried Tang, um, and you just couldn't describe the happiness he got from trying Tang from the 50s compared to the way it tastes now. And it's supposed to be the same formula, but it's not. They've changed it. They changed everything with it. Um, I think we need to go back to the way certain things were and start eliminating some of the things that we have been used to make our products cheaper.
We can't.
Oh, we need to. We
But
absolutely
we
need to.
can't. Not unless the popular, because the thing is, the reason why they have all this synthetic in is because we have too many people and not enough resources. And so therefore we have to synthetically make all this shit, which is why your food, has mealworms in it and all kinds of other crap. is because they've got to put fillers in there to feed the whole population. And so until the population goes down, you're not going to get the old kind of tang because the resources aren't there.
Now, I'm sorry to break conversation, but chat, I see your comment there about the chemical plant in L.A. that's going to Chernobyl. I saw that too. Did they say what kind of chemical is in there? Is it? Hopefully, you're still on. I didn't miss you. I don't know. I'm gonna go look at it real quick. Um, I mean, I saw it advertised and come up. Let's see. Where are you? I was gonna take some medicine. I'll do that in a minute. L.A. plant fire.
Man, LA has way too many fires.
Says it's 90% contained. Maybe that's no, that's the same one. California, Gavin Newsom has declared state emergency as emergency crews race to contain a toxic chemical leak in a manufacturing facility in Orange County. A tank containing about 7,000 gallons of methyl methacrylate, a highly valuable flammable substance used to make plastics, and was at the risk of failure. Thousands of people was under evacuation order. So I wonder what that would do. And it does look like they should have known about this thing. I mean, it looks like it says the tank has gone into thermal runaway and blows up, affecting the tanks that are around it and the fuel and chemicals in them as well. Is Orange County another place where they plan to build one of those 15-minute cities? You never know.
Well, you realize with the Palisades fire, that completely opens up LA to be the purposeful city. And there was even rumor that a lot of this was done because they wanted to rezone everything to begin with.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with Hawaii. I mean, honestly, I do. I think that the fire in Texas was because of the 15-minute city. I think all the fires up there in Canada was due to 15-minute cities, the rezoning and stuff like that.
Well, are these in the night? Because I guess there's supposed to be, according to like the Agenda 2030 or whatever, there's supposed to be like 9 mega cities in the United States. Are these cities that are burning down the mega cities that they plan?
The one in Hawaii was the ones in Canada were, I think some of the others were too. I mean, those for sure. I don't know. I mean, there was somebody that was following it and was talking about it, and I mean, they had it added up pretty good. I knew a girl that lost her sister over there in Hawaii thing, and that's kind of what got me into it. I started hearing all kinds of crazy stuff from Hawaii. We had people on the ground. The cities was in lockdown. We couldn't get anybody in there, and the people that were in there were saying some crazy stuff. Stuff I don't think I should talk about online because I don't know how accurate or true it is, but it was some bizarre things. Never really had confirmation if they found all those kids. Anyway, scientists discover a hidden mathematical problem, the Venn diagram, typically used in city planning and computer science, naturally occurring inside the leaves of the Chinese money plant. I don't know. I found it interesting.
Well, repeat that again.
Scientists discovered a hidden mathematical problem, the Venn diagram. It's what is used in city planning and computer science. All the cities that are planned and drawn up or everything use this pattern basically. And they discovered it is naturally occurring inside the leaves of the Chinese money plant.
Ah,
Yeah,
I wonder if people actually knew that before they did it, and that's where they got the idea to begin with.
maybe. I mean, it could have been lost technology, lost ideas. However you want to say it. But I mean, well, it's been rediscovered now, and it's interesting that it is there. Um, that other pattern that appears in history, like you see it in seashells and you see it in snowflakes and stuff like that. I mean, we didn't know it was there until we looked. Um, Physicists are using AI to uncover new laws of nature, combining neural networks with 3D particle tracking in dusty plasma. This is what it's called, dusty plasma, a strange fourth state of matter. So
Oh, a strange force. What?
they're calling it a strange fourth state of matter.
Okay.
It's basically like you imagine a dust storm, but full of electricity.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're saying that it occurs in space, but see, here's the thing with that: if it's a type of matter, then that means that it can occur here, and for some reason they're wanting to talk about it. That might be our swamp gas. I don't know. Quantum systems can apparently remember and forget simultaneously, with scientists finding whether the system shows memory dependent entirely on how you observe it. Like, okay, that this takes a little perspective, and I don't have all night to try to explain that, but dependable on the way you are looking at the quantum machine, like the Google quantum machine, will determine on the way it remembers its calculation or not. Does that make any sense to you?
Kind of.
It's kind of like the other night when you had to tap out. I was talking about the some of the physics behind how this light works in this slit experiment. And if the light passes through, and this is an experiment anybody can do, you can do it out there in the woods. You pass the light through 3 slits in a piece of cardboard or paper, and it will appear wavy on another piece of cardboard behind it. But if you look at it, it will change quickly. Now, it does that because it knows. They don't
Yeah.
understand how it knows. That has perplexed scientists, I don't know, since the time of Newton.
I've listened to a couple of lectures a long time ago about this. So yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
So, they're basically saying that whatever's happened over there has already happened. I don't know. It is complicated.
No, essentially, this is they kind of pull a little bit from collective consciousness, and this is also being proving that you create your reality subconsciously. Everything that you see and stuff like that becomes is your own creation. This is where like the theories are, like the guy that talks about how we're all part of a Facebook group and we reincarnate in groups together and we know all each other and stuff like that.
Lord
Or the
forbid, because
man in
that's
the chair.
Lord forbid, because I've seen some of you assholes in Facebook groups, and I mean, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I've seen a lot of you, a lot of my fans. I'm going to say the whole, 90,000 of you. I mean, I have walked into some of the places that you guys go to. I have been to some of the, hidden in the back corners of some of the Reddit rooms that you guys hang out in the 4chan rooms that y'all talk in. I know y'all. And I'm just saying is if we are reincarnated into the thing we are, we're screwed.
Well, no, and into the same group.
Our
So
same
like,
groups, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I think it's the thing is we all play different roles. And each time you come in, you're playing a different role. But he was saying that like we live all these simultaneous, we live this way, but we also are living all the different lives all at the same time. Yeah, I tried to interview him once, and he had like a broken leg or something like that. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't do anything right now. I'm laid up." I'm like, "Okay."
There was a scientist that I spoke with a long time ago. I went to go talk to him about something that was unrelated to a conversation we were having, and he started going in on this. Oh God, that reminds me. I need to ask you a question. I ask my viewers a question. This happened to me a long time ago, and it's something that I've never been able to explain. I've never been able to understand it. I have a witness. Anyway, I was sitting on a park bench, and this man comes up. He brings 2 books. And he says, "Are you the author?" I'm like, at that time, I hadn't written anything. Hadn't done anything like that. I mean, I had wrote book. I had wrote stories and stuff, and they were in magazines, and there was some stuff online, and a few bulletin boards and stuff like that. But he handed me 2 books. I'm not going to say what the books were, but on the back was an old man and my name. And the person that was with me said, "Yes, that's you. That's that same stupid face you make when you're confused." Man asked me to sign them. I signed them. I handed them back to him. Never seen the man again. What would you do in a situation like that?
You asking me or just your audience?
All of you.
Something like, oh, did you get a chance to ask a question, or did you just
No, I mean, I
take the
didn't.
time to shoot the shit?
No, not really. I mean, I had.
Why?
He just seemed to be in a hurry. I mean, it was like a, it was just weird. I mean, it was weird. I don't think. I mean, there are other people out there with my name. Um, you know, I just thought it was some, crazy dude or whatever at the time. I mean, I never encountered anything like that before in my life. I mean, I didn't know how to respond to it. I wasn't the person I am now then. I mean, it was not something that I was, I didn't have the facilities to deal with it. And I don't think I'm misremembering it. I've actually asked the person that was with me, and they said, "No, it happened just like that." They said, "If you want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it." I mean, and it's and this person don't like to get online or do anything like that. So I don't know. I'm just saying is I'm pretty sure it was somebody else that they were referring to. And I don't think they were my books. I never had an interest in writing anything like that before in my life.
Why? What was the book titled?
I'm not going. I'm not going to say them because I mean, I mean, I don't want to be. I mean, if that was some kind of weird event or some kind of thing, I don't want to. I don't want to bring that into being. I don't want that to happen.
You don't want to speak it into existence.
No, I mean, cause like there's been some other weird shit that's happened, in the past. I mean, there's this. The only other person that knows about this is Eloise. Now, Eloise is the lady I know up in Canada. Now, she, like I said, she, fan of mine. She followed. She's seen some of the stuff that I got in the past. And there was this time I got this little notebook. It was a wallet. I still got it here. And in the wallet, It's from 1950 something, 52, I think, 56, 50, 56, yeah, 56. And inside the wallet, inside this thing, you can open it up, and there's like weights and measures, and there's a map in there, and then there's each date, and then under that, there's places where you can write stuff. And what's weird about it is when you go through the book, there's all these numbers, and I thought it had belonged to a bookie to begin with. It made sense to me. This belonged to a bookie. The bookie's writing down numbers, what people owed him, or whatever else like that. And one day, I was online, and I was working on a thing for Paranoid Times, and my cat, I think, back there, and I was starting to see a pattern. I started seeing these. There was a plane crash and this many people died, or there was a avalanche and this many people died. Well, the numbers in the books on the dates were the same numbers of the people that were dying, and this continued through this whole book. I don't know. It was. That's my laptop. That's I'm gonna say that's one of many things.
Are you sure it wasn't confirmation bias?
Well, no. I mean, I open the
Or
page,
vague enough
open the
to...
page. There was a number in the book. I'd go online and I would put in. I would go in and search that same day. Let's say it was today. Let's say I would put in. I would go to 523 in the book, and there'd be a number there, and the number, okay, that'd be all I have, and then I'd go online and I'd look up, how many people died today, or how many, whatever, and there would be a number. I mean, it wasn't small numbers. These were noticeable events, like the lowest number in the book I think was 15, but I mean there was times when there was some high numbers in there, and I don't know. Anyway, let's get off that. That one always freaks me out. But I mean, yeah, there's some weird shit. There's some more weird shit here. There's a lot of weird shit I haven't even got into yet. There's boxes and boxes of crap in this room in here. On the good thing, I don't know if it's a good thing. Police in Louisiana were called to help round up a mystery emu that was spotted wandering the city streets. Keep in mind, this is Louisiana. I'm not sure where. I thought it's supposed to be Louisiana. I mean, it's supposed to be New Orleans. Yeah, I think it was New Orleans. How do you lose an emu? Who has a pet emu in their house? Does anybody have a pet emu in their house? That's what I want to know about.
Liberty Mutual.
I'll be damned. I forgot about that. Okay, now this is just like the odd human interest thing that I keep, and this is all stuff that happened today or yesterday. There's a New Jersey resident that had caught footage of a black bear wandering up to his door by a camera and ringing the bell with his nose. Can you imagine?
Was he hungry?
I don't know, but can you imagine expecting something, not looking out the camera and opening the door, and he's standing right there at you?
Maybe he wanted some porridge.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, what's the closest you've been to a bear, Tuck?
A storybook?
Not a storybook. What's the closest you've been to a bear?
A storybook. Like I've never seen a bear. Fucking Sam keeps a lot of that shit away because like fucking I see deer, I see squirrels. The other day I think I saw it was either a gopher or a hedgehog. It was gray and it looked almost kind of like a miniature guinea pig. So, yeah, that fell out of a tree, and Sam got close to it. It wanted to claw the shit out of her. I'm like, I had to pull her off. Snakes, yeah, but no, I haven't seen a bear, and I hope I never see a cougar or a mountain lion or anything along those lines.
What
Not unless
about?
we're talking about an older woman looking for a younger guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were the worst kind, or good kind, or I don't know. You ever run up on a rattlesnake? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and Sam's dumbass like to sniff.
I can't. All right. You're breaking up on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, Sam has sniffed them. And I grew up in Oregon, so we had like we had rattlesnakes and bullheads all over the place.
Now this is going on up in Massachusetts, and I think it's something that there might be a correlation. There might be some environmental stuff going on. I don't know if you guys know what environmental warfare is, but that's basically where somebody will release an invasive species into an area, and then it will kind of take over. Well, in Massachusetts,
Why would somebody do this?
to hurt the population, to hurt local growth. Sometimes corporations and companies will do it when they're trying to get land, like maybe to build data centers. Anyway, um, uh, other companies, bigger companies, bottling companies have done it in the past. And yeah, anyway, this happened in Massachusetts, and it was in Essex County pond, and they started capturing alligator snapping turtles. It is a non-native species that doesn't have any business being there, and there's quite a few of them. Oddly enough, last week there was a report to come out of California. Somebody had been dumping those other kind of rodents in the swamps up there. The cute ones. Shit, what are they called?
Bunnies?
No, they're rodents. They're like beavers, but not beavers.
The platypus?
No, other thing. Keep going.
Um, Beavers. Fucking,
Invasives.
badgers?
No. There's. Damn it! You know it. If I told you. This was. There it is. Okay. It was the. What is the name of it?
Marmot?
It is a varmint. Nutella. Nutrilla.
Okay.
Nutria. They're basically
Nutria.
Yeah, nutria. They're basically a big rat.
Nutella.
Nutella. Yeah, they Nutella. Yeah, Nutella. Nutella.
I like that one. I think we should just rename it to Nutella.
I'm going with that.
It looks like Nutella. We eat it like Nutella. It's chocolatey.
Or no, I'm not thinking about capybaras. Barrels. It's the same thing. It's the fucking crazy thing. It's the capybaras. Fuck, I can't talk right now.
It's okay, man.
No, it ain't, man.
It happens. I mean, we all have it. Like you just get Twitter pated.
Yeah. Cappy. That's it. Cappy. Capybaras.
I can't even pronounce that. Caprius.
Caprius. I mean, they look cute, and they are playful, and they make all kinds of cool sounds. But man, they'll go through and tear up shit. They are. They're like the pigs of the water. Yeah, meet the racist rodent that's munching through California. I mean, they make bureaus up like 20 feet deep and 164 foot long.
Wow.
But yes, they're suspecting they have somebody's been turning them loose, and there was this big thing where they tried to get rid of them a while back, and somebody has turned them back loose again. So it's not a
This is that's bullshit. You're not, for a few dollars you're willing to destroy a whole ecosystem. That ecosystem supports people in so many ways that you can't put money on it.
well. Look what NASA did in Florida. I mean, you do that. I mean, I seen it firsthand. I mean, my family's seen
What
it.
did they do?
Okay, well, two things. Most of Disney is backed by the state because the state was making money and money made off Disney. Well, my family had property there at like one of the outskirts of Disney. It wasn't Disney at the time. It was actually part of one of those trailer parks. And so my grandpa died. We kind of let the property sit, not worried about it. Well, one day I decided to go down there and check on it and found out that it had been possessed by Disney. And they refused to talk to me and everything else. The next thing I know, I was arrested for a trumped up charge and made to leave Florida. I did. But that kind of stuff happens. On my second trip going back to Florida, this was along the Space Coast, and along the Space Coast there was all these marshlands and stuff like that. And this is where they build all of the launch pads and launch systems and things like that. And they go through hundreds of acres to put in a facility building and launch pad. And this for like Elon Musk's new place. I mean, they took out like 146 acres. They don't care about that kind of stuff. They care about dollars. And I mean, if you take out all of that property, you take out the other wildlife and the other bird habitats and stuff like that, and the only thing you leave is space for a bunch of machinery and alligators and snakes. And they want that because if they got alligators around that property, then they don't have to worry about anybody going up there messing with their stuff.
I've heard a lot of horror stories about what Disney's done.
Do what?
I've heard a lot of horror stories about what Disney's done, including basically treating their employees like slaves. I mean, my parents, that's where they live. So, whenever I would go stay with them or whatever, I would always listen to people tell me about all the horror shit that happens at Disney. And Disney is pretty much the sole employer. Yeah, Disney is very crooked in Orlando. There's a lot of people that are very, very pissed off that Disney's there, and they all work there.
Now this is two. This like this the one is a few days old. I've already told you about it. But the other one, these are ancient mysteries that have recently been discovered to be ancient, kind of thing, whatever. And one of them is really interesting. Scientists analyzing DNA from a tomb in Paris discovered that one prehistoric population completely vanished, and then it was replaced by newcomers from the south. There's no genetic connection with the groups whatsoever. I mean,
Where was this?
in Paris. See, there was a time when humanity was partially in that area, so there's tombs and stuff there, different way everything was. But at some point, that population just like went poof, and then was replaced by, another group of people that come from the south. Something took them out. Something.
You
I
think
don't
it's
know.
evidence of Atlantis?
I don't know. It is another marker, a new marker that's up there. I haven't been able to fully get into it, and neither have they. But they do know it is very strange. And of course, you know, I told you this one the other day about Dante's Inferno. It may have described an asteroid impact 500 years before modern science had the tools to understand how they work and the way they are. Like I said, you go look at the picture and you see it, and you compare it to the way an asteroid impact happens and the different levels and things like that. Somehow Dante's Inferno got it right. I don't know. It's just one of those coincidental things that, you know. I mean, you guys know most of this stuff right here, so I already went over that, and yeah, and then we'll spin back around to this. Okay, that's a good way to do this. Now let's go back to the SpaceX thing, and this is what's bizarre about all that. Elon Musk controls 85% SpaceX shareholding vote. And if you wonder, I actually do like to talk about other people's businesses and money sometimes. It makes me feel bad. Anyway, you know, it makes me feel like they're, you know. Anyway, which makes it all but impossible to fire the guy. He could only be fired by voting himself out. How would you like to have that kind of power?
That's fuck you money right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now...
And what, he just voted to pay himself $1 trillion?
Oh, yeah. He can. I'll get into that here in a minute. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, he has 85% of it. 85% of SpaceX. You know,
that might be why it's also getting valued so high, is because so little of it is up for sale. It makes it more attractive.
Well, he is a smart guy. You know, he's got the shit figured out. But among the usual items in the filing, and this I'm referring to the actual filing when he went public, like 2 days before yesterday. You know. In the filing, it grants. Now see, in the filing, let me explain this. Okay, because some people may not know how this works, and I'm going to try to break it down as easy as possible. Okay, when you take a company from private to public, you have to file a filing, and you have to show your quarter earnings. Okay, he showed his quarter earnings, and in the filing, it breaks down how the company itself is set up and how it is owned. And everything you're hearing is the stuff that was written within the filing, which is basically the company ledger about how it operates and how it will be introduced into the public and how it will be on the stock market. Now, this isn't one of the this is one of the more bizarre ones. Just throw it out there. When it comes, I mean, there's some other ones that are pretty bad, but anyway. You know, as I said, in the filing, he could only be fired by voting to fire himself. That means if he wants to do this, he can do it. He can do it all he wants to. Among the unusual items in the filing, to grant Musk of 1 billion performance based on shares. Let me read that again. It is to grant to Musk of 1 billion performance based on share.
What performance? So what, they have to give him $1 billion because he owns the most shares?
Yeah. Now, one of the conditions for them is to vest. Okay, one of the conditions for them to vest is that SpaceX must establish a permanent human colony on Mars with at least 1 million inhabitants. Need a minute on that one?
No, that sounds about right. Maya already said the shit was coming. Now I hear it. Now it's coming.
Okay. SpaceX spent nearly 700 million on Tesla's Megapack products and an additional 131 million on Cybertrucks, the electric pickup Tesla was struggling to sell. That 131 million purchase is estimated to represent between 6 and 9% of the Cybertruck sales last year. Now, when he does this, when he props up another company with his own money and his own stuff, he makes that other company look good. You know, Rob Paul to pay Paul. I think.
No. Okay, so when I took over my first house using adverse possession, first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to start my own landscaping company so I could charge myself, get it as a tax write-off, right as a loss, but it's still income that stays in my pocket because you want all that money to stay within your ecosystem. It's a smart way of doing business.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree, but I mean you still not making money though, just moving around.
Well, it's all on paper, anyways. It doesn't mean
I
shit.
get it.
It's just something you can borrow against.
But see, they don't really care. I mean, they got a lot of backup money, and I mean money that is not really tied to the public. I mean, the filing also confirms that SpaceX holds 18,712 Bitcoin, currently valued north of $1.45 billion.
Okay.
My question is, how did SpaceX get that much money? How did they get the Bitcoins?
They instead of taking profit, they fucking reinvested it.
SpaceX
So they didn't pay taxes.
I mean, I don't understand how. No, I mean, Starlink is selling satellites and internet. Tesla is selling cars and trucks and battery packs and things like that. SpaceX is not selling anything. They're just launching rockets. Well, no, they are selling the one thing. I mean, but
no, they're shuttling people back and forth to the space station, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but no, I mean. But I mean, like I said, they have a loss in there, and I mean, so the money they're getting is supporting the company. I don't understand where the money is coming for them to buy Bitcoin. I mean, it's not there.
Dude, you don't realize how much the government the reason why they can't have the saying is the White House has golden toilet seats is because the government will pay 3 times market value for something just to fucking waste the money. So you run it up, keep a low overhead. You've got a profit or money that you can reinvest back into the company to be able to have collateral. So that, or you take out loans based upon perceived value to go out there and take out collateral, and so on and so forth, like the yen carry trade.
Mm. Now, shit, I just dropped my thing. Now, all of this timing, Musk had reportedly considered launching the IPO in mid-June to coincide with the rare Jupiter-Venus planetary conjunction. The first time the two planets will appear that close together in over 3 years. Another reported reason for the June date is to align with Musk's 55th birthday on June 28th. Oh, nice. Yeah. Which will coincide with him potentially becoming the world's first trillionaire with a T.
Wow. Well, good for him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I said. I mean, I have no problem with people making money.
You could say whatever you want about Musk, but this man is pushing us to the next frontier. And he took his love of Star Trek and is turning it into reality. Something that we never thought we'd see for another 500 years. This man is pushing us there now.
I mean,
And
the way he's
you've got to
done
have some
things,
respect for
the
stuff
way
like
I'm
this.
joking when I say this, but the way he's done things and the way he's pulled things together and made things happen and got money and just made stuff basically appear out of thin air. And I mean, even like what I'm talking about with the coins here. I mean, it's just like poof. I don't know how he does it. He done that. He done that with PayPal. He done that with eBay. He done that with the other things. He done that with Tesla. He done it with the brain chip company. I don't know how. I mean,
He
it's
understands
mine.
money and how it
Yeah, he
works.
understands people too, and that. That's what I said. I think he's an alien and he's just trying to go home.
You know what? I haven't there even been cartoons like fucking one of them that ports him as an alien.
I'm not.
Maybe been The Simpsons. Who
They
knows?
yeah, they were picking on his wife pretty hard.
Yeah,
She's no longer his wife anymore.
yeah. I've heard some of the skits on her.
But I tell you what, though, there was one day I got into a pretty bad rabbit hole, and I was out there a little bit, and I was zonked out. And anyway, I was watching, and I got to where I put him on one monitor and her on another monitor video, and I started noticing this pattern that really messed with my head. Is that those two people are more alike than what you would believe, and they've always been alike before they even met each other. Their mannerisms are the same. Their behaviors are the same. The way they talk is the same. The only difference is she has a feminine voice and he doesn't.
I'm your sister. I'm your sister.
Yeah, there's something weird about them too. And I mean the way he wants to breed and make twins, and I don't know. Anyway, there's some that alien. I'm telling you, man, alien. Anyway, uh, aliens. All right, now the meta layoff is extremely strange.
Well, it's more than just Meta that's laying off.
Yeah, but this is the one where he was watching the he was using the AI to watch them and do their training, like how they were working and stuff before he fired them.
Well, something that's widely known in the IT world is that although we provide the most function to the company, generally we're considered the black hole of the budget. So whenever a recession comes, you can always tell when lots of IT staff starts getting laid off. Now I know some of these were sales and marketing, but they were all tied to tech, and they were doing some sort of tech job. I think that this is more of an indicator of a recession and automation filling the gap than it is a plan.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think that that was the whole point, was to get the individual in there, let them work, and then train the AI on them so they know they know what to do, so they don't have to worry about replacing them again. I mean, because there was instances there where they had fired people and had to hire them right back again to do the same job because the AI didn't know how to do it. But now AI's got to the point where it's smart enough to do their jobs, and especially if it's got some idea how it works. I mean, see, here's the thing. Meta deployed a surveillance software. Yes, I got in here and got it. But Meta deployed a surveillance software called Model Capable Initiative, MCI. That's how it is on the file. You look it up, and you find if you were on one of their laptops or their computers, it says MCI on there. Anyway, on U.S. employees' work laptops in April, the program captured keystrokes, clicks, mouse movements, and screenshots from apps like Gmail and Slack to train AI agents to mimic human workflows. This is exactly the same as a software that I had written a long time ago, called Ghost. And Ghost was solely for that purpose. But it was to watch me, and it was to watch other people in my household. Anyway, workers were effectively required to document how they do their jobs. That document was fed to AI agents, and the workers were then let go. All while the company posted its most profitable quarter on record, $26.8 billion in net income and $56.3 billion in revenue. At the same time, Zuck was cutting regular employees' pay. He was personally recruiting AI researchers with compensation packages reporting reaching $100 million each. Employees' morale got so dark that workers built at least 3 countdown websites tracking the days until layoff notifications, on which one carried the header, "Big Beautiful Layoff." Yeah. Now, I was, when I was looking into that, and I was looking at the software, and I was looking at, all the stuff Zuck was doing, I started going down the rabbit hole of, again, now, FTX, Bankman. I know you guys know him, but I don't have time to go into them tonight. But while he stole all that money, he tried to get. They had this philosophy going around Hollywood and Silicon Valley and the government called long-termism, and they believe that the internal logic behind long-termism is so that you could ensure the survival of millions of future humans across thousands of years that mathematically outweigh almost any harm done today to achieve it. That is not the way it goes that way. They had court records were found, and there was a memo. It described the plan to purchase a small island in the Pacific. The goal was to build a bunker to be used in the event that 50 to 99.99% of people die, ensuring that the most effective altruist could survive. And they didn't want to just buy an island. They were looking to buy an entire nation state and using it to genetically engineer in a new breed of human for the apocalypse. I mean, they had stuff for like DNA cloning, genetic enhancement labs. The amount of YouTubers they had on board for this was bizarre. The amount of senators they had on board to do this was bizarre. They all thought something was happening. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I had originally went down the rabbit hole, and I wondered what they were like planning for. And like I said, it made me wonder, with all these other people building bunkers and things, could they actually be preparing for something? Could they actually know something? And then you got Elon Musk wanting to make sure that we build a civilization on Mars for some reason. Mars is, if something happens to Earth, you don't want to be on the moon, so you definitely want to be on Mars. I mean, that's good logic right there, right?
Yeah, that works. I mean, yeah, it's to ensure the survival of the species.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what I'm getting to. on one of the last things of the hour. But here's the thing. The mathematical logic behind all this, long-termists, used to justify all of this is genuinely strange. Now imagine if you could lift 1 billion present people out of extreme poverty. Now, that is the same wording they used with AI not long ago. Lifting people out of poverty. And they were talking about, well, they actually said 1 billion people. Anyway, or benefit 0.00001% of the potential 10 to the power of 23 biological humans who could exist if we colonized the Virgo supercluster. Now, my question is, did you remember anyone talking about the Virgo supercluster?
No.
I don't either. But apparently it's important. And we'll find out why later. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to a bunch of old people talk and ramble on. There's a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. I love having you guys here. And Tuck, thank you. Thank you a bunch, man, for helping out.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to be here. See you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
All right, man. Be good.